Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. You're over there try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I just got through reviewing some boneless wings, and that means I'm going to be reviewing some more boneless wings. But we'll get into that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering around about for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be one of my, because I do have two, excuse me. Boom! My Born of Osiris shirt, which it's got the nifty sort of Darth Vader Pharaoh graphic to it. Yeah, so Born of Osiris, they are a band out of Illinois. They have been at it for quite a while now. I'd always been sort of vaguely aware of them. Like, I knew the name of the band, but I never really got into their music. But at the end of last year, in 2023, they went on tour with a band called The Browning, who I'd really wanted to see. And, you know, they were the headliners, and I just was super into it, man. They put on a great fucking show. You know, you could see why they'd been at it for so long, why they've been so successful doing what they do. After everything was said and done, I picked up a shirt. This shirt specifically, I actually didn't buy. After the show was completely done and I was walking out to my car, this shirt was literally just on the ground in the parking lot. Somebody had obviously picked it up at some point. It had fallen, you know, probably out of their pocket or whatever, however they were holding it. And if anybody had been around, I would have gone over there and inquired if it belonged to anybody. But by that point, because I'd stayed late, there was like nobody anywhere near my car. So clearly whoever it was drove off. But I got a free shirt out of it. It's a cool shirt. On top of that, I also got some videos of their performances. Those videos are on this channel as well. And hey, if you just want to check out their stuff, I'd be more than happy to point you in that direction, because they're very cool. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, I did just get through doing some review for some boneless wings. And because it's boom Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm reviewing another flavor. So Buffalo Wild Wings, they have a deal where on Thursdays, if you go over there and you order boneless wings, you get a buy one, get one free deal. So if you go over there, you order 6, you get 6 free, 10 free, so on and so forth. And I've been using this to my advantage. Not only do I get a cheap meal out of it, but I get to do reviews. So I just got through reviewing their Chipotle barbecue dry rub, and I'm going to be reviewing now another dry rub from them. This is their Desert Heat dry rub, which, boom, it looks like that. And then can we get like a thing for the thing? Ha 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 ha, something like that. And I specifically chose to do this one second because these are supposed to be on their really hot end. These are literally in their highest tier of heat. We'll see how things go. But fork. Let's get a nice and okay. All right. I'm letting it kind of do its thing on my tongue. There's definitely a heat to it for sure, and it's growing a little bit. So I'm trying to kind of find out where it crescendos before I go over there and make my full assessment. But I feel like at this point it's essentially stopped. So, okay. So something I'm noticing with the dry rub seasonings that they're using, because I had this problem with their Chipotle barbecue. You know, when you go in for Buffalo Wild Wings, their chicken is fine. And honestly, I do think their dry rubs allow their chicken to shine through a little bit more. Like, again, with the Chipotle barbecue one, like they have a nice crispy crust. You can actually taste the chicken. It's pretty solid. It's, not as good as like really, really proper chicken places, but it's more than serviceable. But you're not getting a huge impact of flavor. Like, yeah, you can put that seasoning on there, and obviously it's going to do something, but either the blend that they're using or the way it's really not doing much for me. And I think part of the problem is that they're just kind of smattering it on. They're not cooking it with the seasoning. I don't believe they make the wings and that they just sprinkle the shit on. And yeah, it doesn't really saturate into the chicken itself. And it doesn't really do much, So like after the Chipotle barbecue ones, because this has really been my first experience, I believe, with like the dry rubs for them. After that one was so kind of middling and unimpressive, I was worried that this might be similar, but I was hopeful, especially with this being in their highest tier of heat. I was like, okay, well, if it's there, and I've had I've had like their blazing wings, which are genuinely very, very hot. I was like, okay, if that's in the same tier as their blazing wings, clearly this is going to be a more impressive showing. Not really. It is. I'm not saying there isn't flavor to it. There is, but it's just very There's a little heat to it, and it kind of builds on your tongue, but it never really reaches like a particularly hot point. And then even beyond that, it doesn't linger. It doesn't really, and that's where you have the advantage. This is really what I think is the stronger suit for Buffalo Wild Wings and places like them. When you have a sauce, you can slather that on. Gives you lots of flavor, and if you're going with spicy, it can coat your entire mouth. With a dry rub, you just have less to work with. It really needs to make that impact quickly, and it needs to hit hard. And this isn't doing that. It's just very The flavor itself of the seasoning is okay. It's nothing. It's kind of a general, like, spicy seasoning flavor. I'm guessing there's, like, probably some dried chili in there. I'll say this, I think the flavor on this is better than on the Chipotle barbecue, but I think a lot of that is just because there's more to it. But mostly you're just getting the chicken, honestly. Yeah, okay. Well, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Two answers, no. I think for me, this is really showcased what I personally kind of have to feel now is really a weak spot for Buffalo Wild Wings in their dry rub stuff. I just don't think it's that. I can understand why they would have it available, because at least having it on offer affords people who maybe don't want the heavier sauces, they don't want that, heavier flavor. It gives them something to work with. I can appreciate that. But I'll be honest with you. Because they do like monthly sauces and limited time things. I don't think, and I'm not saying for anything for certain, but certainly I don't think I've ever run into one of their highlight sauces, if you will. Again, like their monthly stuff, that's been a dry rub, and I think that this really kind of showcases why. It's not their strong suit. For me personally, I would never get these again. They're not bad, but I might as well just go with, one of the any other things that they have. And especially given the expectation of the heat versus the reality, no. And by that same token, if I'm, recommending them to somebody, no. Again, they're not horrible or anything. They do have a little heat to them, but no. These are definitely, for me, these are definitely going to be ones that I go over there and dip in like some ranch or something like that to really try to get something more out of them, because the actual seasoning itself just doesn't do much for me. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly proper desert heat-tastic rest of your life, which, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, that is the name of a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And it's not one of his best, but it's not one of his worst either. So it's a little bit of a middle ground one. I don't think he does a lot of actual, like, ass kicking in it. Like, it's an action movie. I think it's more gunplay than, like, kicky, punchy stuff. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Anyway, final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations like that where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important that we go over there, at least try when we can. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, I mentioned this in my previous review. At the time I am doing this, this is the Thursday before Good Friday. Hopefully, I'm not going to post this up tomorrow. It's probably going to be weeks down the line before I post it up because I always have a backlog going. But I hope that your, Good Friday weekend was something you could enjoy. It's still pretty chilly out, but maybe you get to do a little barbecuing, something like that. And just, outside of Good Friday and stuff like that. Just hopefully enjoy your downtime whenever you have it. Who was it? There was somebody who went over there, like somebody famous, they had a quote about that. They're like, there's no such thing as downtime. We only have so much time on this earth. Blah, 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 blah. If that is your personal mentality, good on you. I commend people who just want to do it. I really do commend people. Personally, from my end, go fuck yourself with that nonsense. I absolutely need downtime. I need time to decompress. I need time to just sit and fucking enjoy my life a little bit. But if you're one of those people, you're like, da 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 da, good on you. Just not me. Anyway, bye.